Hey guys, it's Lauren. Thank you for joining me for yet another video. This one, it's gonna be a haul video. I rounded up the most recent beauty purchases that I have made over the last couple of months. Some I've had like a lot longer than others, so I've tried them out in various amounts. But yeah, I'm just gonna start with this guy right here that's in my hand. This is actually, I'd say, the newest out of the items that I have purchased, and it is the Tatcha Deep Cleanse. It is their newest launch. I was very intrigued by this when I saw the price point because, you know, Tatcha is a very luxury brand and they have a very luxury price tag to go with it. So when I saw that this was pretty reasonably priced for Tatcha in terms of their products, I was like, oh, interesting. Now, I'm a big fan of their cleansing oil. I really like that. But their cleansing grains that you mix with water, I haven't gotten along too well with that, with those. So it was kind of like, how is this gonna fall in the spectrum? I've used this guy a few times, and I think mainly maybe part of the reason why this isn't as higher priced maybe as the others is the packaging isn't as like well engineered, user friendly as some of their other stuff. Now it looks very beautiful, it's a nice sturdy plastic, but as you like screw off the top, it just has like this open hole that you just like squeeze to get, or like kind of like pound out to get the product. Now the product is like a rather like jelly consistency, so you can very easily not get enough product. So then you try and get a little more and then you end up with like way too much product. So it's really hard to like gauge the amount you should be using, and also like the potential to use this up faster because you're gonna be getting out more than you really need. Now it says it's a deep cleanse, so it's supposed to be like a purifying and exfoliating cleanser. The cleansing property in this that I read is the amino acids from silk. The exfoliating part, the particles are loofah fruit. So that's the little tiny physical exfoliant that is in there. It's a gel that you put on wet water, and as you like work it in, it turns into like kind of a milk. So it doesn't necessarily foam up, but it does get a little bit of like milky froth to it. And it's a pretty gentle exfoliating cleanse. It's definitely, I'd say, if you're like a person who can accidentally overdo it, or if you really want to make sure you like don't like irritate your skin from over exfoliating, it might be something to pick up. I personally like something that has like a little bit more of like harumph to it, so that's the only thing where I'm not sure if this is necessarily the like ideal sort of product for me, but it still feels nice. My skin doesn't feel irritated after using it, and it does have like that Tatcha complex that's in all of their products. That's like a mix of like rice, green tea, and algae as well. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as I use this a few more times, but yeah. Also, actually, I picked up another exfoliating cleanser guy recently. This was actually a user suggestion. I posted on my Instagram several weeks back a photo of this really beautiful new Aesop store at the Century City Mall. It's like all this like gorgeous blue tile. And I haven't really tried much from this brand besides like some like bath and body products that have been in like hotel rooms and things like that. So a couple people recommended this. So because that was the one that got, I'd say, more than one nod, it was the one that I picked up when I passed by one when I was in Portland last month. So I saw it and I was like, oh, I'll go in and pick this up. And this I actually really like. It is a nice paste style texture that is both a physical and a chemical exfoliant. So it has lactic acid, which is my favorite chemical exfoliant in it. And then the physical exfoliant is rose quartz, which I could see being very problematic for some people because it has like a really satisfying grit to it, and I'd be like kind of the grit that if you get overly enthusiastic, you can like really overdo it. So that's something to be like weary of. It does have some essential oils in it, I believe, like rosemary and lavender, which can be problematic for people, but it does have a really lovely scent to it. It's quite enjoyable to use. So this is definitely something that I've had to hold myself back from using too often, because then I can like overdo it on the exfoliation, and I really like the feel of a physical exfoliant. So I've been enjoying this. So thank you to the people who recommended this to me. I've been enjoying it so far, and I've also been using it on like my upper neck and my arms as well, and that's been going well in the shower. These two I'd say that I have had the longest. I picked these up like beginning of December, maybe like end of November, and I've just been like slowly testing them out here and there. This is the Amore Pacific Vintage Single Extract Essence. This is like that super fancy, luxurious green tea essence that has gone through this like crazy like fermentation process to create it, and just like it has like a very like quite a saga around its creation. And I've used it you know, to about here, which is actually quite a couple of weeks worth of usage, even though this is a very, as you can see, watery. I just use a nice little amount, I'd say just like a tiny pool in the palm of my hand, and pat that on, and sometimes I'll layer it a little bit more. I haven't seen too much like that I can necessarily credit to using this, but I have really enjoyed the feel of it. It sinks in, and you think it would feel like nothing because it's a very watery essence consistency, but you do feel a slight plumpness to the face, and it just kind of gives like a slight cooling sensation and calming sensation to my skin. So again, this will be something that I update on to see how it like really, if it does anything, and if it is like worth the sort of crazy, I don't know, lore that is around it and the price point to it. So we'll see as I get down further if it is as like be all end all as it's like being spoken about to be. Now, if you've watched a few of my videos, you probably have noticed that I'm a big fan of the Tiger Grass Cicapair color correcting treatment from Dr. Jart. I love that thing. I have a backup. It's fantastic. I use it very often, and I find that it's very effective in calming down my skin and helping with redness. So when they launched the Re.Pair serum in the Cicapair line, I was very curious. This one is supposed to be more of like an immediate calm down on like irritated, sensitized skin that's like red and inflamed. And I don't know, I think I like the color correcting treatment more so far. This has a rather thick, actually, serum oil texture that you really have to, at least on me, I've had to use very sparingly, or else it can just sort of sit on top of the skin and doesn't fully absorb. And I'd say I've seen like a little bit of redness reduced when I use it when my skin is super annoyed or sensitized, but not as much as I would like, or as much as I'd say the color correcting treatment does. But the color correcting treatment does have a tint to it, so that could be part of what's helping me. So I'm still gonna give this guy a few more tries. It lays well underneath makeup if you're sure to use a light hand with it. So I'll be curious if I have like a rather like intense reaction to something, or I've over exfoliated and my skin's very annoyed or something like that, and if I use this, if it gives that sort of like immediate results that it's supposed to do. But yeah, 1 minute solution, I don't know. I've actually really been enjoying so far using this newer mist from Herbivore. This is the Jasmine Green Tea Balancing Toner. So it's a mix of jasmine floral water with green tea, and then it does have things in it like aloe and ginger root, I believe, that help with like calming the skin. And then it has things like witch hazel and willow bark, so it has like some salicylic acid ness to it that will help with blemishes. If you have super dry skin, this probably won't be for you, but if you have more on like the combination skin or to oily, this might be something nice for you to try. I've really been enjoying having this scent in the mix of my mists. I have a lot of like floral rose ones, so it's nice to have something on the jasmine side. So I've been kind of like oscillating between this one and the neroli one from Leahlani lately. So lastly in skincare that I've been testing out is the Darphin Aromatic Cleansing Balm with Rosewood. So this has stuff in it like marula, ylang ylang, rosewood, as well as sage. I've used this only a few times. I haven't made too big of a dent in it, but oh, that almost looks like a little smile. But I've really been enjoying this. It's very aromatic, as it says, as most Darphin products are. It feels pretty gentle as you apply it onto the face and you like work it in with water. It turns into kind of like a milky texture. It does an okay job of removing makeup, but I mainly use it as like a second cleanse or something in the morning because it has that really nice sort of aromatic quality to it. So it feels very luxurious, and you know, Darphin is like not the cheapest of brands, so I don't necessarily want to use it to take off any of my makeup. It rinses pretty clean for a cleansing balm. Most cleansing balms that I have used and tried, especially ones that are more on like the second cleanse kind of style like this one is, they usually kind of leave behind not necessarily a film, but there is a slight residue, like a hydrating residue left on the skin, and I don't experience that with this one. So it's not necessarily that I'm feeling like it is leaving my skin stripped in any way, but there's just like, doesn't really feel like there's anything of it left behind. So if that's something that bothers you about some cleansing balms, then maybe this would be more along your alley. I'm trying to wait for this guy to leave, who's been rubbing his engine outside my place, but I don't think he's going anywhere, and I want to have the rest of my day. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have you tried any of these items or any of these guys like on your radar or your wish list? I'd love to know. And if you did enjoy this video, I always appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're not already. So yeah, guys, I hope you're having a good day, and I didn't look too weird boxed in by this TV. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.